Hey everybody, it is a very hot and humid day here in Middle Tennessee. It was a very late night last night. I think I closed it up at about, I don't know, 3:30, 4 o'clock or something like that. Typical thing, another 20, actually that was, yeah, about a 20-hour day, give or take. So we're still wide open. I haven't posted anything in a bit just because I've been so busy. It doesn't look like a lot has happened, but there's been a tremendous amount that's happened. Things are really starting to come together. So I thought I'd give you guys a little bit of a tour of where I'm at with everything. And a lot of stuff is going to be happening the rest of this weekend too, and over the next week and a half. And then I start moving stuff in here, moving equipment. Because remember, I can't shut the shop down that I'm in because we're still finishing up work. So I'm having to time this very carefully with the machine shop and everything. So it's gonna be pretty. Basically, we got water lines run. You can kind of see the sink. I haven't placed the sink yet, but got a sink down here. The sink is run over here and all the plumbing in it. Oh, you can see the mess, boy. The sheetrock's going like crazy. And, after my electrical inspection, it's then time to go through and do all the final install of everything. So I have all my overhead lights and outlets installed for all the overheads. I've wrapped up getting all the quads wired. They are wired all the way down. And if you've never wired up a quad box, it's actually kind of a pain in the butt. It's just a little time consuming, but in the end, it's so that's that. And I cannot believe these lights. It is insane. So the way that I wired these up, I won't always be over here in welding and fabrication. Of course, I still got to get my welders in here, my other blast cabinet, all that stuff, my rest of my fabrication stuff. But I actually wired this section up on a second switch because I'm not always going to be over there, and that worked out pretty good. I still have to put my panel in. I'm waiting. I've been waiting a while for that three-phase panel to attach to that. So just like so many other things, the box and the breakers are on back order. So, but they should be in the next few days. Into the mixing room here. All the sheetrock is up in here, which is great. It has not been taped. I did run some more circuits in here to the electrical panel. I'm not going to show you what I've done in there, so I've got power everywhere. The ceiling is done here in the booth. I have the fan wired up over there. It's ready to go. I need to build, I'm going to change the position of these lights a little bit. I'm going to raise them up, so I'll build these boxes, and then the sheetrock can be finished here. All the rock is up on this exterior wall. Still needs to be taped. I did go back in and lag bolt. So when you put stairs in, if you're going to put sheet goods behind it, it's a good idea when you build the stairs to build them off of the wall about a ½ inch or the thickness of whatever material you're using. So now that the rock was in behind it, I was able to lag bolt those stairs to the wall. So now they're secure. And we've got all the rock done up here. Now what I decided to do here, instead of running, I'm going to run the metal panels across for the top floor, but the bottom floor is going to be rock and painted. So I think that'll have a neat look to it. But I'm going to run these differently than I ran them in the machine shop area. So if we look over there, you'll see I ran them up and down. And the reason I did that is dust, right? To, any whatever, slag, chips, whatever, so it wouldn't collect on the ridges. I wanted it to drop straight down. But that creates an issue because these panels are only available in 36-inch wide, and when you've got studs 16 on center, you can see how they start overlapping and doing crazy stuff in the middle, and it's kind of unsupported. So up here, I'm going to run it long ways, right? Continuous panels, and actually, I think that'll look pretty nice. So that's what we're doing there. And when we get into these areas, actually, all the sheetrock has been cut. Everything's been cut, and it's ready to hang. So that's big. Now in the shower here, I do need to box in this side and shore it up, and then the shower will be ready to go, and the sheetrock can be done. Now up here in the offices, all the rock is up. It has been mudded and taped, but it has not been sanded. So that'll get sanded in the next few days, and then I'll come in here and paint, hang the drop ceiling, and lay down the carpet, and these rooms will be done. But all the electrical is done up here. I just need to put the outlets in. So that's pretty simple thing to do. Just like anything else, it just takes time. And today I'll be going through finalizing all the electrical stuff. I've got to build boxes. I will show you the inside. You know, remember I did a tankless water heater. And my first thought was to hang the tankless water heater over near the bathroom. But then this water heater, I'm really amazed by it. How much they do consume a lot of power, even though they're more energy efficient than what a regular water heater would be. It's amazing how much power these things take. So this little guy right, that's the unit. I'll put my hand on it, give you an idea how relatively small it is. But this thing, to run this sucker, you can see here. So it requires two 220 circuits, two separate 220 40 amp circuits on 8 gauge wire. Isn't that crazy? That's a ton of power. So yeah, 220 times 2, 40 amps on each circuit. Pretty nuts. So when I was thinking about the water heater and mounting it on that side, which is 60 feet away, we've got to remember what I've got to do for the wire. If I mounted it over there, then I would have to go up about 15 feet, over 60 feet, and then back down about 20 feet to the panel. Have you checked the price of wire lately? Especially the big stuff. So I'd have to have 2 bundles of 8-2 wire with ground, 100 feet each. That's insane. It was something like, I think it was like $400 worth of wire. Insane. So what I did instead, mounted it on this side because my electrical panel is right down there. So I only had to buy 30 feet of wire. Well, yes, I had to run PEX, but the PEX is a whole heck of a lot cheaper. It's less than $1 a foot. So I ran the PEX over. It may take a while for the hot water to actually hit that side over there. But I'm thinking geothermal, baby. So, you know, inside the building with the fan, I've got fans turned off and everything, which is one reason I'm sweating like crazy. Just so you can hear me in the video here. But it gets pretty hot up there at the very top, and it's running all the way across the top. So I've been checking on, you know, the average day, you know, it's hitting 90 and 100 degrees, give or take, up here at the very top. So that's going to keep the water warm. That's my take on it anyway. And actually, just out of curiosity, I do have, listen, these stairs aren't, they're lagged. Well, they do a little bit. Now, the stairs that are going up to the offices, I did glue those treads down, but I didn't these for a very specific reason. I'm going to be carrying boxes and dragging stuff up and down. You know, these are going to take a beating, and I wanted to be able to replace the treads easily. So I just knock them out and dropped, you know, a couple more 2x4s in there. So what I wanted to show you, I have a temperature gun and see what we have. So here on the floor, 86 degrees. Now, let's look up top. I can't see it through the lights. Let's see. Yeah, 118 degrees. So, there we go. 112, 107, 115, give or take. So, water temp, 120, 130 degrees, especially during the summer. Water in those pipes are going to be just fine. It'll be pre-warmed. Let's look at it that way. All right, so for the balance of the day today, it's going to be another long one. I was hoping that the sheetrock guys were going to have the offices sanded, ready to go, because I wanted to paint and hang the ceiling and all that this weekend. But I'm not going to be able to. But I've got plenty more things to do. So I've got to go through, and where you saw the wire coming down, anywhere that there's Romex, as far as residential building code, if there's Romex wire, it has to be covered if it's below 8 feet. So I've got to go through, and all the bundles coming down to the panel, I'm just going to build a box around them so that I can remove it if I want to add circuits or whatever later. And then I'm going to tie in the engine building area over there. And, you know, basically just getting things ready. It's just kind of like one thing after another. I'll finish wiring in the the water heater and all that good stuff. I did run the wire. I don't know if I talked about this. I ran the wire from the well. Oh man, that was quite a job. I did have a couple of people comment that because it was, let's see, what wire gauge is that? 10, yeah, I ran 10-4. No, 10-3 wire with ground. So it was 260 feet of wire in total, I believe it was. Yeah, 260 feet through, an underground conduit and stuff. And I had a couple of folks were nice enough to comment that, you can't run Romex through conduit, or it can't be exposed to weather and stuff like that. But I actually talked to the state inspector about that, and he said it's perfectly fine. I don't know if it's our ground conditions here, or doesn't get too cold, or the temperature on the ground here. I'm not exactly sure, but he had absolutely no problem with we running that 10-3 undergrounding conduit. So he said everybody does it that way around here, and it's not a problem at all. So there you go. Anyway, I'll shoot another update. I'm actually taking a long weekend here to get as much done as I can. So I'll be back at the shop. I'm going to drive home on the 4th, I guess, and I'll be back at the shop. We've got 3 or 4 more bikes to go and to get tuned and get them out the door. But we're getting close. Thanks a million, guys. Take care of yourselves and each other, and happy 4th of July.